Hey everyone, Mathias here from Final, back with another video to help you build incredible checkout experiences. As you know, Final is the world's first in-person checkout builder, empowering businesses like yours to create completely custom checkout flows for any environment. Whether you're a payment facilitator, an e-commerce platform, or a SaaS product looking to offer unique checkout solutions to your clients, Final has you covered. Today we're diving into something fun and delicious. We're going to transform a Figma design into a fully functional checkout flow for an ice cream kiosk. Imagine the possibilities: personalized orders, custom workflows and upsells, all seamlessly integrated into a beautiful and efficient checkout experience. Okay, enough talk. Let's jump right into Figma and whip up this checkout masterpiece. Okay, so let's start by seeing what we're going to be building today. I have whipped up a quick little ice cream theme that I wanted to make for a little while, because I find that a lot of the kiosk solutions out there are either traditional grocery stores where you basically have a scanner view, or else something where you have a burger menu like at McDonald's, or a burger chain where you can select from a vast catalog of burgers. And I find that there is another way of doing kiosk solutions, which are a lot more simple and a niche approach surrounding just a couple of products. So I wanted to showcase how you could build something like that. First off, we have our screen here, the home/advertisement screen that we will be building. Then we have just two products with a bunch of variants. So we have our ice cream cones. We'll make a little bit of a unique design just to this, where we have a nice picture. We have the ingredients listed and whatnot, and then the different variations. And you'll see it's very customized around their color and logo and branding and whatnot, which is how a lot of your clients probably will want it to. Then we have the coffee, same thing there. Then we have a checkout. We're just going to keep it simple. Of course, as we've covered in a lot of the other videos, you can go crazy in how you want to take payments. Right now, we're just going to have Visa, MasterCard, and cash. Cash might not make sense for you, but that could also be pay at counter or anything like that. And then we're going to have order complete, where you can print or not print, and just wait for your ice cream to be served. We are going to have a follow-up video on this later, where you'll see a fulfillment screen. So in a future video, we're going to be building a way to see, once these orders are made, how do they actually come into the kitchen or the bar, or wherever you need the order to go, and be shown with all of the extra custom selections that you might have added in. Anyway, let's jump into our builder and see how we get this set up. Great, so let's start looking first at the merchant hub here. You'll see that I have a clean empty install, except that I've taken the liberty of just setting up a couple of the products we will be using. Again, setting up products for this particular tutorial is not really part of it. We have another video that covers how to set this up in depth, but I'd like to kind of show you just behind the scenes what's going on. So we have options. We have three different options: scoops, flavors, and coffee size, with the different flavors and whatnot. We have set up three products. We're going to be using cone and coffee today. And when we look at them, we have the different flavors and scoop sizes, all individual variants of with various prices and whatnot. And you'll notice that we have added a barcode to the first product, and we're going to be using that. Obviously, we could set up as many barcodes as we want, but we're going to be using that as we build this particular kiosk. We want to be able to set up individual pages per product, and I'll go much deeper as we start building. Cool. So with that said, let's jump in and create our first kiosk. So we're gonna start by calling it ice cream kiosk. We're gonna give that a full HD, but in portrait mode. So basically a different aspect ratio, but many kiosks, you would of course use whatever pixel size that you have for your kiosk. Many are standardized to be a full HD just in a portrait mode, which is 1080 by 1920. Let's click create an open builder. And what we see here is basically we got to start by choosing our layout. And if we go over and we look at our design file, you'll notice that we have a couple of different sections here. So we have a main body, and then we have a footer. So let's start with selecting that. So we're going to choose body with footer, and then the builder will set up the layouts for us. Next up, you'll see here that we have a little bit of padding on the side of the two div containers that are basically the main two here. And to get rid of that, because we want an edge-to-edge setup, we're going to write 0 padding and apply all. Now you see we removed the border or the padding, so to say, completely. You'll also notice that there's a gap between the sections. If we go over and we look at our design file, there's no gap there. So we're also going to remove the gap here by clicking 0 gap. We usually like to set up the different layouts with gaps because most of the time it makes sense, but some kiosks and other solutions where you want an edge or anything you do going fully out to the edge, you gotta just go in and remove that. That's it. We've set up the base layer. Let's start by doing some of the good housekeeping first, as I like to call it. So we're gonna start by just going into our file here. Then we're gonna click, and again, you can use any design tool you want. If you want to use Canva or Illustrator or Photoshop or whatever you would like to use, Adobe XD, you can use that. Today I'm using Figma here. I'm gonna take the color code here, and then I'm gonna just pop it in here with this, and you'll see now that we have actually already started designing. I'm gonna do myself a little favor here by clicking the global icon and say plus, let's call it cream. So now we have a global color set. So we can always call that back up again if we want to reuse that color. Next up, let's go back, and then we're gonna grab the other color here, and we're gonna just go in, and we can find the global colors over here as well by clicking settings. We're gonna go over here, and then we're gonna say primary. And then we'll add that. So now we have our primary colors and whatnot. We can do ourselves another little, if you wanted to see it in different colors. I think that's a horrible idea for this. We're learning together here, but obviously you do not want to have any background color here. The gray is fine, but if you were doing a dark mode or a really light color, then you want it to pop to make it more visual, you're able to change the canvas color as well. Cool. Next up, let's go back to our Figma file, and then let's start exporting our different things here. So we're going to use that file. So you'll see over on this side where we have our different exports coming out. We're going to export the logo here too. Let's also just grab the image here and grab the image here. And I think that's it for our first setup. We'll grab more and come back if we need. Cool. So next up, let's start by going in here. We're gonna add an image, and there are many ways to do this. We could have added it to the main div and as a background image. And there are many ways you can do this. I am just going to show you one way, but yeah, it's really up to you how you want to do it. And I'm going to just, as it is a big file, I actually, instead of dragging and dropping, I'm just going to go in here and click upload. And it says invalid file. Yeah, so we're doing the troubleshooting together. You'll see here that I actually exported it a little bit too big. So let's just go back here. And then we're gonna just make that a little bit, we can probably even do like this here. And then we're just gonna export that again. And I'll chat with the team as well about maybe updating the file size here. It should be running now. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So we got our background in. Let's, while we're at it, also just update that, and then let's just get the others in here. Cool. So what are we missing? I think the ice cream cone here. Cool. So I think we are we're good to go. We're gonna click on that image, and that looks pretty bad, but let's try and see if we can clean that up a little bit. So we're gonna say 100, and let's just go back here to our file, and it says 1620 in height. So let's try and give it 1620 in height, and then we're gonna say cover. And now it's starting to look pretty much like what we had here. Then let's grab this div container here. We could set the percentage as it comes, but I'm just going to write 300. And how I know that is basically, if we look at the main canvas, you'll see that it is also set up to be 1920. This one is 1620, and that means this one will be 300. While we're in here, I'm just going to grab that text, and then I'm going to switch back again. Cool. So let's next up add another image here. I'm going to grab that and say load in the ice cream image here. Then we're going to add a text element. We're going to input the text touch to begin. One of the things, and again, we're building together here and figuring it all out. We're going to select the size of this, and then it looks like it's basically centered. We can play a little bit around with it as we go, but I think it was more or less like that. And then I think it's a little heavier. We're going to eyeball it for now and not go too deep on the details, but you get the gist. Then why is it not loading the primary color here as it should? Let me just see. Let's troubleshoot together. See, I actually forgot to input the color code. So I think that's what's causing the issue. Maybe. Let's just see here if I disconnect it. Okay, there it works. I'm gonna delete that here and just click add from here and click primary color, let's say. Cool. That is my my bad there. We're constantly updating the builder, and we're gonna add that it automatically will add that little hashtag there. Cool. So let's try and center this. That looks pretty good. I think we're more or less there. I think that looks good. Again, if you ever wanted to notch it, you can notch it up and down, for example, like that. Just if you feel like it's out of alignment. I happen to think it is a little bit compared to the logo. I think that's because the logo is taller than it is wide. So I think that's pretty good here. Good. I think that's it for the first page. So we're going to go back to our structure pane, and you'll see our new page manager here and pop-up manager and whatnot. Let's click add new page. We're just going to flick back again. See the structure here is basically the same. Yeah, so we're going to just start with the same structure. We could duplicate from the other, but let's not be lazy now that everyone is watching me build here. Cool. That's good right there. I'm just going to see. Let's maybe start with getting the colors right, and then we're going to take it as we go. We're going to eyeball some of this, but again, if you were building for a specific client and you have spent longer time than I have on the build, you can, of course, go to pinpoint precision with the builder here. But for now, I'm going to start with the background. I'm going to choose the cream color. If I remember correct, that's white. Let's add a button here. And we're going to add a button. It will come up with set up a new action. We might as well. We're going to call this button that is checkout. So actually, let's wait a little bit on that. And the reason being is we haven't set up the page yet where we want to go. I'm just going to call this here cone page. And that's basically, as you see here, we are on the ice cream cone page. There will be a coffee and a cone page. And then there will be the checkout. And that's actually where this button would go. So I'm going to link that towards the end here. We're going to say, we're just going to go in and style the button still. And we're going to do that by saying primary color. And then we're going to say width. I'm going to say... Let's try and say with fill, and then we're gonna add a bit of margin. We're gonna add let's just see here 40, 34. That's me being sloppy here, as you can see with my design. It's 34 probably meant, but yeah, we'll just make it 40 all across. So now you get the gist here. We automatically added 40 padding across here. That looks pretty good. On top of that, we're rounding them. So let's just see if we add 40 apply to all. That should do it. So now we're rounded the button. I think we should add a bit of padding to the height just to make it taller here. Let's just make sure we select the right. We're going to add 20, and then we'll add 20. That looks pretty good right there. Then next up, let's just set the font size. We're going to just, again, eyeball that a bit. I think we're going to work with 32. That looks good. Make that a little bit bolder, and then it says checkout. We can also let me actually do this a little bit smarter and just say it says checkout, but we also want to have the dynamic text. So what we can do here is we can go in and select dynamic, and then we can say card data. And we can say, let's say total balance. Right now, it'll say total here, but if we had added, let's say in this example, $120 to cart, it would say so. So now all we need to do is prepend it. We're going to prepend it with checkout dollars. And now you'll see it says checkout dollar, and that's basically the amount. So kind of like what we have here. I think my font sizing might be a bit off, but we'll make it like that. And that looks pretty good there. Cool. Next up, we have basically a structure here of a div, up in the left alignment, and then we have another section where everything here comes in. So let's start by adding a little bit of structure to this. I'm gonna duplicate that, so now we have 2 here. Up here, I'm gonna take our slide out card, and then I'm gonna say open that. Let's just see, what does it have here? It has the amount. So we're gonna show the total. Then we're gonna take our div container here, and we're just gonna make sure that we got it left aligned. And then we're gonna add, let's just see here. If we zoom in here, you'll see that we have 14 top and 20 there. So let's try and add that. Sorry, I gotta select the container here. 20. Oh, sorry, that was 14, and then we have 20. So that's pretty good right there. I'm gonna bump this up a little bit in size, and then I'm gonna select our primary color, and that's good right there. Cool. Okay, yeah, it looks like you can't style the icon here. We're gonna fix that. That's a miss from our side, and we're gonna own up to that and get a little styler here. We can go in and fix it, and that's one of the beautiful parts of the builder is we're able to target anything here with CSS. It's kind of out of the scope for now, but anybody that understands CSS would know that we can target the individual icon here. I'm not going to do that for now. I'm going to just leave it be, and then I'll fix it up with some of this magic editing after. Cool. So next up, let's create a div container, and it looks like I've been horribly sloppy when I made this here. I'm just gonna see here. There we go. Now everything is good there, and I'm just gonna center this. And yeah, that's pretty good there. So we're gonna now take this container, as you can see, and I think I'm gonna give it 740 pixels for this one. And you'll see, yeah, I should have done that in the design file, but we're learning together here. It's our first time building directly from Figma live, so I'm having fun. I hope you are too. Cool. So let's add in an image here. That looks good. Then we're gonna add 2 buttons, and you'll see the width here. That works pretty good. So great. In order to stack the buttons, you'll see me jump back and forth a lot. Sorry about all of that. But in order to stack the buttons like what we have here, we could drag this out. I can see that there are things that are not fully centered here, but in order to stack them like that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them together in another div. In another div, and inside of that, I'm gonna not add that button just yet here, but I'll show you now what we can do here. We're just gonna style this button first. We'll start by putting the same rounded in there. We're gonna choose that color, and then we're gonna write cone and coffee, and I'm just checking the sizing of these here as well and stuff while we're at it. Again, we are just showing this so you kind of get a feel for how precise you can build. So we have, I'm just gonna add that up to be 360. And then let's just say here, background color, we're gonna choose primary. And I'll show you how I kind of divide between these two in just a minute as we're setting up actions. Let's first just get a style out. Next one here, instead of background color being that, we're gonna just create a white one. I don't think I hit exactly white there. That's good right there. And then we're gonna set the typography as that. And then if I click on the main div container here and I say content direction, you'll see that they get aligned better in the right direction here. This one we're gonna call cones, and this one over here we're gonna call coffee. That's right there. Looks pretty good. We can have the border here and whatnot, but I actually think we're gonna just freestyle it here and say image, and then let's update the image here. That's actually looking better in my humble opinion. I do think that this one is kind of missing a little bit of a border. So we have a color here I can see, which is 1 pixel wide. So let's just look at this one here, and we're gonna go down and we're gonna select borders. And then we're gonna say 1 pixel, this color, solid. And you see here, if I zoom in a little bit, as we're building, I should probably have done that from the beginning. But you'll see that it has a nicer color to it now. Cool. Another little trick that you can use here is if I zoom in and I click back on the text, I can fill, fit, and whatnot to the screen, which is really nice to be able to just do quickly as you're zooming in and out. I'm gonna bump up actually this to be a little bit easier to read too. That looks, that might have been a little bit much. Again, we're not gonna go too deep on design. This is not really about showing or deciding what good design is. It's more showing that you're able to build it. Cool, so next up we need a title here. And we're gonna just, let me just see here. We have this section, and then we basically have 2 sections. So we're gonna do that the same way we did the 2 buttons here, by putting them in a div so we can control the content direction of everything within. And let's jump in and do that. So we're gonna add another div. Let me just see here. I'm just gonna close up these and make sure it gets added to the right layer. And then I'm just gonna see here. Let's actually just make sure that this here makes full sense. I think I'm just gonna see here. That looks better right there. And then what I want is that container. You see what happened there was it was outside, and that means that it becomes full width. So we don't want that. We want it living within the boundaries of the parent div. So as you see, if I fold all of this up, now they all live together in one big container. So let's jump in and start styling this one. If we go back, you see that we basically have 2 sections within. So we can solve that, and we're just gonna go a little bit crazy with divs. There are many ways we could have done this. but we're gonna say that there is a container here and another container, and these two should be like this. So you're starting to get the style. Let's drag it in here. This container here, where I have it, I'm gonna just left align all the text. And then let me just grab another text here. I'm gonna duplicate that. And you'll see, oh, I duplicated the wrong thing here. I'm gonna duplicate the text, and then I'm gonna go over to the input text, and I'm gonna input that there. We can style this in many different ways. For now, it's set to fill. I'm gonna set it to custom, and then I'm gonna just have a quick look. That roughly takes up 60% Then I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna say custom, and let's give it 40%. So now you kind of see how that space is set up. In here, you'll see that this is a little bit more gap in between the text and what we want. So I'm just gonna fix that, and then I'm gonna add our main title here, handcrafted with love, and we're gonna just write that there. I think the font color here is also something called base gray. So let's just also give this the right font color. So that looks good right there. Then let's add in to this. We're just gonna duplicate this, and then we can drag it in. We could also use the other pane here. I'm gonna drag this into the, let me just reverse that and then drag this in. And why I do it that way is I just want to make sure that I have the same colors here. And then we're gonna just style here and say select to the top, and then we're gonna go into our this one here. And we don't actually have a great list element yet, but we can solve that. One of the good things about the builder is the extreme flexibility on ways of solving this. So I'm just gonna go in here, and then I'm gonna put another container because we want that to be together. And I'm actually gonna just give a little bit of, let's give it 20 padding here. And call this ingredients. Actually, I'm just gonna, this is some of the issues of when you eyeball stuff and you don't look careful. That looks better there. Then we're just gonna remove some of the gap as we did over there. And we're gonna duplicate that out. Of course, now we could cheat it and write it as a list like that. Let's actually just do that. Cool. So now we got our setup here, and you get the gist of we're basically able now to create a really precise product description about a product, style an individual product page, and use custom imaging effects and backgrounds and whatnot, all with one specific product. Anyway, let's load in the scoops here. Oh, sorry, the variation selector. I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna drag in variations. And let me just see where that lands in the whole. Let's close some of this up so it's easier to organize. And then we're gonna just go into this and then drag it to the bottom of the page. Then I would like to select it to be, let me just see here. I think width should be 100%. So that looks good there. We're gonna style this a little bit quicker here, but we have our variant. In general, the variants are red with the background color that we had before, or the border color, and the text in that. So let's start by doing that. We're gonna select variant, and you'll see up here, while we do this, we have other modes of this. Basically for hover if you were on a device with a mouse, and active as well, and we're able to style each one. So let's start by doing that. So for the background, we're gonna want it to be white. It looks like it has a pretty good border color already set. Then we're gonna go in and choose the font color here. Sorry, actually, let me just use that there. Good stuff. And then we need the radius. We're gonna make it, just keep the 40 there. We're gonna make the padding, if we do 8 by 8 by 16, that is way too small. So I'm gonna wing it a little bit more here and say that's way better. Font size, we're gonna give a little bit more too. That looks good there. And of course, as we go through the different products, you're gonna see this update in real time. Right now, we're just styling it. We need also to just close this and make the title. We're also gonna use the same color for the title. We have that there. And then we have group name. We're gonna use same title, or sorry, same color, and we're gonna just ballpark it here. Cool. Maybe just give it a little more oomph, as they say. Cool. Next up, let's just add these two here. We're gonna just click product quantity. And I can actually see we need to just add a div container because we're gonna need to space them apart. So why I can see that is these two are basically on the same line in the document. So we're gonna just add both there. I'm gonna add another button, and then I'm gonna go here and say content direction like that, and then there's this align apart, and that basically pushes them as far apart as possible. Then let's just play around with this here. We're gonna do something down this line here. I gotta just set the right one. And there we go. So now they're round. And this up here is, of course, if we had a background or anything like that. We don't, so we don't really need to set that. We're gonna just set the button. Button background. Let me just see here. That was white, and then the icon is that so. Let's just see here. There we go. Make sure that it's all white. Then we could change the color of each icon, but we're gonna just go like this here. And you know what? We're gonna bump it up a bit. That's one of the beauties of being able to just freestyle it here. And then let's just say, what else do we have here? We have, that is definitely too much freestyling for today. But there we go. That looks good right there. We could, I believe that there were a border here, so let's just add that in. And I'm just gonna, again, you see me freestyling way too much here for everyone's good, but I'm just gonna check here from this button up to the line, there's 32. So let's do that. And then I'm just gonna copy the color of that box. So padding here, 32. And then we're gonna say border color is actually that. So you see that's how you'll make something. I'm also just gonna write 32 here to make sure that the distance is more or less right. Cool. Next up, let's bump up the font sizes, and some of our designers here will hate me for just freestyling everything here, but yeah, that's how it is sometimes, I guess. Cool. We should, again, too much freestyling is no good. Let me just make sure that I get this right here. We're gonna just select the background, and the background should be purple. So, primary color, sorry. Definitely not purple. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a little bit bigger here. You know what? Let's just set it for 24. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set a width, and let's just take the width of 300. That's good right there. And then we're gonna just put it like that. And then we're gonna say add to cart. We do wanna just include the pricing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say dynamic data, product, and then we are gonna click product price, and you'll see that it comes up with a range here. That's normal, that's because we've selected a variation price, but that would always be selected later. Great, so let's write here, add to cart. And as we see here, that's gonna be too much. It would probably be totally fine because it wouldn't write the range, but let's just give it enough space so we have it good enough there. Cool. I'm just gonna give it a bit more. There we go. Cool. I think that looks really good. Or fairly good at least. Gotta give me that. Then let's duplicate this page. And then we're just gonna reverse those two. And then we're gonna write cone over here. And we're gonna write coffee over here. And that means as we click back and forth, you'll see that this one changes. I'm just gonna rename the page here. Just call it coffee. And then when we're on the coffee page here, we're gonna change the image to show the coffee cup. And everything, we would of course now be able to say over here, we can write coffee text goes here. This can be done in a couple of different ways. Some of you that have been following along would probably say, why don't you just load in the product description, and we can do that. But part of this is to start showing how custom you can go. So this could be a product image, or it could be a whole gallery of images. It's fully up to you. Next up, let's just quickly show how we can build the linking between these two. I'm gonna go on this here, and then I'm gonna say action, and let's create our first action. We're gonna call this action select coffee. And then the first step here is I'm gonna say go to page coffee. On top of that, I'm gonna go over and just find product here. And then we're gonna set active product as. And now I can enter that SKU. And remember earlier when I mentioned this is gonna be powerful by being able to automatically select a product based on an action. By writing this here, now we are actually selecting a small coffee as the active, meaning we're updating pricing, everything available, and then we're changing pages into showing a custom coffee page. So whenever I click here, we're gonna run the action select coffee. I'm gonna go over on the coffee page, and then I'm gonna go here and say action. When I click on cone, I'm gonna create new action, select cone. Then I'm gonna go to page, cone page, next, go to product actions here, and then we're gonna say set product active as 001. That was our unique SKU. And what this does is if we go over to the final hub and just for a second look at the, I am locked out here. If we go in and we click on the cone product here, you'll see that we're gonna now automatically select Kitty Scoop Vanilla. We could do that to anything and it would automatically select that. I'm just gonna save it here, but of course you can keep building even though it goes out. Okay, so now we have the different pages here. We're gonna do, I think, this page here. So I'm just gonna see. Let's just look at that. Okay, we're gonna duplicate this and call it checkout page. And then this checkout page here, I don't think it had the cart. No, we're all done from that. We can actually even remove that. Just gotta add a little bit of, and again, you can, depending on where you stand, you can add this anywhere. Let's delete some of these things here. I'm basically just cheating a bit and taking the structure we built before. And let me just build a quick container under this. Again, we could design it however we want. We're just, oh, I just gotta see, we have a div container here. So let's add another div here. And this one will get this off yellowish color. So that looks like that. And then we're gonna add in a back button. We can do that in a few different ways. Let's just add in an arrow. We could take many different ones. I think this one works for now. So let's just left align that. We're gonna add in 20 in padding all over. Again, we could fully design or upload this or do however we want. I'm not going to go too specific on it, but that works there. And then let's make it a little bit bigger in size. And then we're gonna just jump over here. And we're gonna copy our font setting so we can be a little bit strategic on it. And why I keep switching back and forth here is just basically saying, looking at how do we want to structure our chart. And we already have a div container here that we're in, and it's left aligned. So if we want to center something like what we have here, we need to create another one. And I'm just going to write here your total, and then I'm going to duplicate, and we're going to make this way bigger. Let's just put 40. That's good there. And then we're going to give it dynamic text, and we're going to say cart total balance, and then we're going to please select payment method. And just okay, and then I think we have a bit of we have 20 in border radius. Let's just add that before we forget it. That's good there. And then we can also add a shadow effect. You'll see here that if we zoom in, there is a little bit of a drop shadow. So let's just look at that. That's 1530, and then let's just see how we would do that. We're gonna go down here and click Add Shadow, and if I don't remember wrong, it was 30 here, and then we're gonna just copy the color code and say 9. I think that was more or less it. Yeah, I believe we got that right. And again, you can go extremely detailed if you want to with this. We're not gonna go do that today. That I'll leave that up to the individual designers. And now we can say here, I just cheated a bit and copied the same button in from our previous design. And then we're gonna write here, just gonna remove the prepend data, and then let's write here card, or we can add a tab to pay. Cool. And we could of course add as many as you want here. So if we wanted to say American Express, if I can spell here, then we could monitor our individual payment types by that. All kind of fully up to you. I do think this is centered, so we're gonna do that, and might be a little bit easier if I take that by itself, and then yeah, you know what, that looks pretty good, but we can certainly center it here. Something down that line. If we wanted to move this up, I actually think that looks pretty good. But we can. There's a lot of ways you can do that there. If we wanna just to showcase how you would move something up, you would just add it above this here. And let's just see here. So now we have these, and then we're gonna just give this one a height of 300. Let's say we're gonna put this to the top, and then now we can we can set this here to, yeah, we're gonna do it the lazy way today instead of adding more stuff. So I'm gonna just say 400 or something down that line, and now it's centered. You get the gist. I might have gone a little bit crazy with the div containers here, but you get the gist. If you were building directly off of a design, you would just go in and do what I showed you here, where you go in and measure and whatnot. We don't really need that now. So I'm just gonna say one last page here, and that's checkout complete. And we're just gonna say here, checkout complete. And then we're gonna say new order. Or sorry, actually, we're gonna have a print button. I should have styled that before, but hey, let's just do it one last time here, hopefully. So borders 40 all around. We're gonna give it the background color of that. We'll give it a little bit more like that. Let me just see, 16 in padding, 400 and 24. So you know what? We could say custom 400, I think we actually did. And now we have the print button there. Actually, before I delete this, let me just add one more thing. We have a no print. Let's just have that as well. Let's call it save the world. And this action here, let's just add that right away. Should just go to page, home, and we're gonna call this save the world, because we can. And print button here, we're able to select, we're just gonna choose the vision receipt. You can, of course, fully custom build or design your receipt too. I think this one could be nicer. And then I think we had an icon here as well that says check mark. So let's just add a little check mark because we can. I like that one there. And again, I could sit and upload the individual images and whatnot. But I think we should be good here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of margin below just because I don't like how little space there's there. And now we have a print button. So this would print the receipt, save the world. Maybe we should just specify this better. No print, save the world. Great. That's it on that. Checkout page here. I actually just copied the buttons in, but we would, of course, if we want to trigger a payment, we need to choose background color and just size this up. I think it was 24, custom width 400, borders 40 all across, and font weight 400, and then we had padding 16, 32, 32, 16, and that more or less looks the same. So now we have a tap to pay button here. Just gonna leave that there. We could say tap to pay plus donate $1 if you want, and you could add a $1 fee just as an example. Of course, you can go crazy with actions and custom fees and donation buttons and however you really want. I do believe that we added in the bottom here on the other 40. So let's just do that there too. Sorry, they are not margin. Great. So I think the only thing left to link up is actually this one to go to checkout page. And that should just basically go to our checkout page. I, of course, forgot to save that. There we go. And I'm also just gonna select this here. Link, go to checkout page. One more thing that we need to just put in here is a premium action. We're gonna call it auto home. We're gonna say set condition, time idle more than, and let's say if nobody touches it for more than 60 seconds, then we're gonna run a new action. We're gonna go to page home. And that basically does anywhere it is, if somebody leaves without paying or something, it will always return home to this screen here whenever you it's idle, right? We're gonna also just say open Kiosk, and then we're gonna say go to page, cone page. And I'm gonna just add that to both of these divs. So wherever you touch now on the screen, it'll be it'll go over to this page where they basically start. So that's good right there. Let's just have a quick look at how, for example, it'll look on an iPad, how it will look on the different ones. Of course, this is fully up to you how you want to see it. I would like to just see here. We have our Samsung Kiosk here. So let's just see how that looks. That looks pretty clean. And yeah, that's it. Let's publish this one and our Figma to Kiosk. And that's it. Now it is all published and good to go. And there you have it, a fully functional customized checkout flow for an ice cream kiosk. All built with Final. Remember, with Final you have the power to design and deploy unique checkout experiences that perfectly match your brand and customers' needs. No coding required, just drag, drop, and customize. Want to see more cool checkout builds? Be sure to subscribe to our channels for more tutorials and inspiration. And don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Until next time, keep building awesome things with Final.